Hello everyone, you have come to Untwist Your Stitches. This is my Flosstube channel about my crafting, mainly cross stitch, but other crafts sometimes are added in. This is going to be either an add-on or its own small video. And what I'm showing you today is the items that I use to decorate for Halloween. Well, actually, for the whole month of October. I have several stitched pieces that I use as decorations, and I'm not sure how long this is going to take me to get through, so it might be a small video of its own, or I might add it on to my October regular Flosstube. It's just going to depend on how long it takes me to get through explaining my stitched pieces. Okay, so let's get started. This is from Nora Corbett's Bewithching Pixies series of designs. The first one I did is Luna. She is in the purple dress. I stitched her on 14 count mint Ada. She is done in mainly the colors that were called for, except for her hair. I did change it to red. I felt that she was more of a redhead than she was a brunette in this particular design. The bat that is up above her wing is just an embellishment I had in my stash. The charms on her necklace also were things that I added particular to my requirements for what I wanted her to be, to look like. The star was from a necklace that my daughter had given me years ago, and it just fit in with what I thought she represented. There's Kreinik, there's beads, and there are DMC. So that is Luna. The next one is Anna. Now, Anna was changed for my own personal colors. The dark green in her dress on the pattern was supposed to be done in black. I did not want that much black in my picture. I wanted her more green. Again, she's stitched on the same 14 count mint green Ada. The crescent moon was in my stash. The small pumpkin that she's holding in her hand was something that I found at a gem shop where I was living in California at the time. And I believe those are the only changes that I made to her. Most of the rest of her is done as charted, and then together with Luna, I put them as banners, and I put together this little holder, so to speak. The witch's brew at the top was one of those wooden signs you can find at most Michael's during the holidays, and then I painted it in the colors that I wanted it to be for the green. The two little cauldrons on the end, I believe those also came from Michael's. This has been stitched, I would say, at least 5 to 6 years ago. So the details, I don't have a lot of remembering what it was. Along the bottom there, the ribbon with the beaded tassels was just something that I had in my stash, and I thought kind of set off the whole design as something I would like to use. The next two that I did was on the left-hand side with the skull at the top. That is Zenia. I changed her colors completely. I'm going to be putting in pictures of the original designs that Nora designed them of, but I wanted all of my pixies to be in the green color. She is again on the same 14 count mint green Ada. As I said, there were many color changes in order to get her into the greens. The beads are different. The chalice is different. There's just a lot of changes to her color-wise, not design-wise. She's kind of, I would say she's my favorite of the four that I have done so far. And then the last one, Minerva, I also did her color changes. The owl and the moon, well, the owl is the same color as it was charted, but the moon is in a, I believe that's a Crescent Colorworks color, and I am sorry, but these also were done about 3 years ago, so I do not have the colors written down anywhere. She is done on a different fabric because I didn't calculate properly, and when I went to stitch her, the last piece of mint green Ada that I had, she would not fit on. So this is more of a, I believe it's a seafoam green. But, I mean, it's for myself. I'm happy with it. She's beautiful. She doesn't have to be exactly like the other girls. Oops. Sorry about that. The hanger that these are on, the Bewitched was again a one of those wooden cutouts that you can get at Michael's, and I painted the red orange this time to go more with the leaves that the hangers are made out of. The pumpkins were also from Michael's, and I just painted a black dowel rod, or I painted the dowel rod black in order to make it more Halloween. This next one is my Glendon Place collaboration. What I did with this is I took two Glendon Place patterns, Frank's Family Portrait, and Whooligan's, which I will add pictures of the original patterns into there. And I put them together in a way to make my own picture. The center portion with Frank and Mrs. Frank and the house in the background is from the Frank's Family Portrait. And then the Whooligan's, I split it into two, added extra fencing, added some extra cobbles for the sidewalk out front the gate, and the little mummy or zombie or whatever you want to call it, that was part of the design. And I just put them together and made my own picture because I wanted a large design to be a banner for the month of October. The I believe that is just a dove gray 14 count Ada. I don't think, yeah, it's just that. The windows on the mansion in the background is the DMC E, I believe it's 930 for the yellow. I don't remember. I'll have to check and put it in my notes, but I know it's the E series of the DMC floss. Let's see. Let's go a little closer. On Frank's neck there, I had my husband cut 2 small rivets from his from work, and I added those for the bolts in Frank's neck. The earrings and the necklace pendant were part of the pattern when I got it. Over here in the graveyard, if you see, right, let's see, let me see if I can point it out. Right here, they're kind of hard to see because my zoom isn't working very well, but those are some skeleton buttons that I had, and I added those for a little bit of fun extra. And of course, the bat in the moon and the spider hanging from the tree were all added embellishments I had from my stash. This one is not hanging straight because in order to get the full picture of it, I had to put it at kind of a weird angle. But this pattern is from Alessandra Adelaide. It is called the Spider Banner. It is stitched on 16 count gray Ada. The spider colors were changed in order for it to match into my color scheme, which is green rather than orange or purple. I believe in the original, which I will add when I'm editing, it's red is the spider, or maybe a orange, a real bright orange, but I wanted mine to be the green to match my decor. There are 2 spiders that were added just from my stash, and other than that, the colors are the same. It's a favorite of mine. I really like Alessandra's designs. I like how she puts things together and makes them work. Poof is a pattern by Ursula Michael. This was stitched on 16 count purple Ada. It's a mottled purple. Again, I don't have the information about what the color was or who the dyer was. I believe it was a Picture This Plus, because at the time that I was doing these patterns, that was where I was getting my overdyed fabric. The shoes at the bottom were a free pattern from Sullivan the Sullivan fabrics, or not fabrics, the Sullivan thread that has come out as a competition to DMC. The pattern is called Which Shoe, and it's originally meant to just be one shoe. However, I wanted it to look as if this little witch had made a mistake and she had made herself disappear, and all that was left was her hat and her shoes. So I did the one shoe, and then I flipped it to a mirror image and did the second shoe, and this is the result of what I did. I made it into a banner once again. For a while, I had it hanging as a sign outside my front door, but I don't think I'll do that anymore. I don't want it to get, I don't want it to fade from being out. And where I'm living now, the weather is a little bit different in October than it would have been in California. So this will now be an indoor decoration somewhere in the house. The fabric that I used to frame it was just something that I got from Joann's one year. I thought it really kind of complemented all of the brightness and the different colors in the hat and the shoes. So I added that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The green in the shoes is another one of the E series of DMC. In the notes that I write for this video, I will add the color number so that you'll know what the green in the house on Frank's family portrait was, or the yellow, excuse me, the yellow in the house that Frank's family portrait was stitched with, and the green in these shoes. I will add that into my notes. And now my last hanging piece. If you've been watching my Flosstube, this is one that I finished within the last 12 months. It is Cottage Garden Samplings, October 31st. It's part of the Time for All Seasons series. Of course, this was the October one. I stitched it I believe that's a 16 count Ada. There were changes made. I mentioned all of those in the video that I showed you when I first finished this. So you could go back and look at that video if you wanted the details of all the changes that I made. But the pumpkin does have some color changes to it. I could not find the color that was called for on the raven, so I had to change that. And then I brightened the stars up with a color that I preferred. The piece that it's mounted on was a wooden board from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure at this point where I got it, but I painted it, and then I kind of distressed it a little bit to give it the look I was looking for. The green pumpkin I painted. It's just a thin wooden cutout. And during my recent move, the stem of the pumpkin was broken. So I had to add in the leaf and the small flower at the stem to cover up where it had broke so that I could get it back together. The Halloween, or the Happy Halloween, was a cutout from Michael's that I painted. And all the other embellishments are just things that I had in my stash to give this a finish that is to offset, or not offset, but to highlight the stitch that I did. Boy, I'm having a hard time talking today. Not sure what's going on. As I said, that was my last hanging piece, but I do have more things that I have stitched that I use to decorate, and this is one of them. I cannot find the information for this table topper. I believe the material was a Zweigart fabric, but I've looked and looked and I cannot find the information about this one. I can't find the information about the pattern either. I've Googled it. I've put it into several search engines. I cannot get it to come up no matter how I try to research it. But it was a pattern. I believe I did this one 4 years ago. And as you can see, the original was done on an orange checkerboard. But as I've said, my colors are green, so I found this green fabric. And like I said, I do believe it is a Zweigart linen, but I cannot find the information about it. But this one goes on the table. There's, you know, four corners, 4 centers, and each one is the same design. It's just, you know, around the tabletop. Dracula is another Glendon Place pattern. It is from the Monster March pamphlet. I just chose to only do Dracula at this time. I then got the medium size bale of hay with some Halloween decorations and the spooky cutout and put it all together. And this sits on my coffee table in the corner of the room as a decoration for that. The colors are all as charted by Glendon Place, and the rest of it is all just things that I had in my stash or I bought to put this together as a centerpiece for one of the tables in my living room. Boo is from the Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition, or Halloween special edition from 2015. Everything's done as charted in the design other than the moon. I used a over-dyed thread to give it some dimension to it. The little frame that it's on was something that I found at Michael's a few years back. They're very fun. I have another one that I use at Christmas time for my snowman displays. They're really easy. You can clip these on and take them off as you want. So Boo can be with the owl in the middle, or it can be with the bats in the middle, whatever I would like to do. The fabric is just on some cardboard with silver braided ribbon around the outside edges and some other ribbon with charms, buttons, whatever embellishment I chose to use for the finishing. And as I said, this is from the Just Cross Stitch Halloween Edition 2015. This green bag was something that I found, I believe it was at Michael's one year. It is a burlap style bag, but it had the proper ability so that I could put this design on it. The design is from the Just Cross Stitch Halloween Edition 2016. It was intended to be the top of a key, but I just wanted the creepy head to be on this design. So I just used that part. It's just DMC 310, and it's on this little green burlap bag that I have filled with some polyfill so that it can stand up and be part of the decorations every year. This fun little guy is a painted canvas. It's called Marvin Pumpkin, and it was on an 18 count needlepoint canvas, hand painted. The designer was Deeva. I got this little piece at the local, my LNS when I was living in California, and I just did it basically as a cross stitch piece because it was so small and 18 count. I didn't need a lot of specialty stitches on this one. DMC, all my own choices. It is finished on a small piece of wood with some Halloween fabric, and the little button is the little topper is a ribbon with a button in the center, and then there's orange and black ribbon around the outside edges, and I just used some black buttons as the little legs on the bottom of the wood. But he's just a cute little guy. I guess technically this is another hanging design, but it's more of, I use it more of as pillow in a dough bowl type setting with some of my other decorations. It is Lizzie Kate Boo to You. It was a kit, so it came with that outside frame already put together. You stitched the piece and then you just tuck it inside. The eyes and the spider all came as part of the kit. And it was a freebie that I got at one of the retreats I was at, I believe 2 years ago. And somebody had bought it and then decided they just didn't feel it. So I was able to take it and put it together. And yep, it's another one of my designs that I put out every October. And then for my display that I made, my door, for the banner on that for Halloween, I have done Come Sit for a Spell. It is a Stoney Creek pattern from the Trick and Treat pamphlet. And then I just put it together, framed it. All of the colors are as charted, and the little star at the end of her hat was something that I had in my button collection, so I added that on. And finally, This is my Halloween banner, and I apologize in advance. I cannot find this pattern. I know it was at least 4 years ago that I did this. Again, because of the move, I don't have all of my patterns with me. I have done another Google search. I cannot find this anywhere. I've done where I took a picture of it and put it into the search engine. It is not coming up anywhere. So I do not have information about this. The fabric is a Picture This Plus. It is 14 count. There's not much more to say about it. I apologize for not being able to give you more information, but with my move and with the amount of time that has passed since I stitched this, I cannot bring it up in my mind as to where I got this pattern or who the designer is or any of that. But this is my final piece for stitching that I have. I have more that I am going to be doing in the coming year or so. So there will be more patterns next year when I do this. I don't know if I'll do another full parade of this or if I'll just do the new ones, but this is my stitched decoration pieces that I put out during the month of October for the celebration of Halloween and fall. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.